you and I have watched The Last of Us.
Yes.
I have
Have you
downloaded.
watched the whole thing, or am I the only one who watched the whole thing?
No, I watched it.
Okay.
I finished.
I heard on a different show you'd only seen half.
No. I finished 10 minutes ago,
Okay.
basically. Right
Okay.
before the stream started, I finished it, ran over here, and was ready to start. But no, look, I've seen The Last of Us, and I'm one of those guys that like show me. Like a lot of people are predicting this is going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. I need proof. I need to see the actual thing. So, I'm starting this out by saying also, I have not played the video game. I've downloaded it. I've checked out trailers of the video game, and I personally love zombie movies. I love it because zombie movies can be anything. You can make a zombie comedy. You can make there have been romantic comedies, zombie movies that have made some social commentary, usually not in a lectury way, but just in a like, hey, consumerism is crazy, right? Like malls are the death of America, right? My favorite, the 1978 Dawn of the Dead, which I saw in the theater as a kid. And when I saw it, I went and saw a movie marathon, woke up at like, I think it was like they screened it at 2 a.m. and I left the theater. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was the weirdest experience ever as a kid to see that film. But I love zombie movies. The 1968 Night of the Living Dead, the original by George Romero, kind of created the zombie movie rules that have been followed by many of the films. You kind of go in like vampire movies, right? They all have these certain rules. Some of them bend the rules, whatnot. And your zombie movie rules were effectively established in George Romero's 1968 film, which I love that when George Romero cast actor Dwayne Jones as the lead, Ben, in that movie, who is a black actor, black gentleman, Dwayne Jones. The script wasn't necessarily written for anyone of a certain race or gender necessarily. And people asked him, so you're going to change the script now? You're going to change the script? Because, your lead actor is black. And he says, no. George Romero refused. And Ben, of course, is the most likable character in that film because he's the smartest. He's the most calm, cool, and collected. And was that your dog?
Yes. No, I farted. No, that was my dog.
No. But anyways, so I really just love the zombie movie genre from the beginning. Like, and I've loved when people make their own rules. Walking Dead, of course, being the show that I think this will be compared to the most.
Yep.
I think the problem with Walking Dead is it went on too long. As much as it's nice to see the ongoing adventures, I never finished The Walking Dead. I lost interest. I just lost interest.
I lost interest when they killed Glenn the first time.
That's exactly it. I lost interest when they killed Glenn. Wait, the first time? Oh, no. The second time when they killed Glenn.
No, the first time when they pretended to kill Glenn.
Right.
And then I never got to see them actually kill Glenn because I heard it was pretty gruesome.
It's gruesome. It was horrifying. And there was no reason for them not to change it. Now, The Last of Us, I don't know a lot about. Other than I'm aware of the video game, and I'm aware that there's a controversy over The Last of Us 2. And what I'm hoping is that that'll change. It's a simple zombie story that starts at the beginning, suggesting that a form of fungus could take over the minds of individuals, humans, and make them violent. There's this great thing. I think it's from like the late 60s. They show this talk show in the 60s where these two scientists are talking about climate and it's somehow leads a pathway down to fungus, and that there could be fungus that in a way could take over the human mind in a way that hallucinogens do. Cut to the present day. Cut to 2003. And you see the collapse of society because these zombies, humans now with this killer instinct that comes from a fungus they've been infected. You meet Earl Miller's family and his daughter. It's his birthday. He's kind of having a bad day. He's a blue collar worker, close with his brother. You know, looks like they work in construction. He has a lovely relationship with his daughter, and then all hell breaks loose. The fall of modern society happens very quickly, and Earl loses someone very close to him. I love this. Like I would say the first third or so is this collapse of society, this fast collapse, and it's great. There are these shots that seem, I don't want to say it's like right out of a video game, but there's a shot where you see Earl and his family in the car, and the car is just goes down a street, and then there's a plane that's crashing, and then there's like it's a fantastic series where they're trying to escape. They're just trying to escape in their car. They try to go to the freeway, then they go off the freeway, then they get caught in some city where people are screaming and running out of a movie theater or a bar. It's nuts. That part is awesome. Then it cuts to the present day, and you see Earl, a broken man. Is it Earl? Wait, not Earl. What is it?
No, it's Joel. It's not Earl.
Joel. Why did I say Earl?
I have no idea. Because he looks like
Joel. He looks like an Earl. Oh my God.
Earl.
Thank you for that. Alan, you didn't even correct me. You should have corrected me at the top.
Well, I've never played the game, never seen the series, so even I'm a little shaky on names.
Wait. Did you see the series?
No, I mean, I saw the first episode, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
I've never played
Joel.
the game.
Okay.
It's Joel. Yeah. I don't have a PlayStation, so there's just no way I could.
Okay.
That The Last of Us was ever in my sphere.
All right. When we run this as a regular clip, I'm gonna dub over my voice, and it's gonna look really bad. Okay, so Joel and now this threw me off.
Joel and Earl.
I don't know. Oh God. All right.
Yeah. Are you talking?
Now you're in the quarantine city of Boston that you kind of a lot of the first episode is world building. And I'll say this: world building, character setups, and I like what I've seen so far. There is a girl, and her character's name is
Sarah.
I was gonna say Earl, it's Ellie.
Are you talking the daughter or are you talking the girl?
I'm talking the girl played by Bella Ramsey.
Okay,
right?
yes.
Pedro Pascal.
Ellie is the name.
Joel. And thank you, chat, for correcting me. All right, we can take that off now. Where just Jesus. I've had a rough few days. I don't want to go into it, but I've had a rough few days. Let's just say that. But back to The Last of Us. The first episode was all about world building. I don't want to go into the story so much. You've either seen it or you haven't. I don't want to blurt out a spoiler that some people may consider a spoiler, some people don't, whatever. The point is that I really love this first episode. I don't know what I'm in store for, and I don't know that it's fair to even review it after having only seen one episode. Alan and I have both been gotten in trouble just for the first few episodes were great, and then it was completely downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really optimistic that House of the Dragon turned out to be very good. Not just the first episode, but the whole series. All 10.
Yeah, for me, House of the Dragon, the first 3 episodes were kind of blah. And then it got good.
It got good, but I was still interested. It didn't matter. It was it was this slow burn in a good way. And it was a lot of world building. The Last of Us is also a lot of world building. And I really like it. I like the twist on the zombie genre. Some zombie movies have changed things where they kind of changed the rules up a little bit. And that's cool. What was interesting about this is they make it a fungus, that it's an infection via fungus. I feel like there's still more to learn. The show doesn't assume you've played the game, and it doesn't assume that you're stupid. Information is kind of doled out. I like that once you get into the quarantine area, that there's also like a group of people that are trying to free the quarantine area, because the quarantine area, very authoritarian. Crime is just dealt with public executions. It's horrific. So I really like the world building. Of course, it ends with Joel and Ellie going on a quest, well, a quest of sorts,
Of
because
sorts, yeah.
because she is the key to
Something.
something that could save humanity. And so very, very, very simple first episode. What I loved about it was not just the fast pace, right? Not just the super fast pace of the show, the way the action played out, but also the character building. There's a thing with Joel's watch. You know, he had this broken watch that his daughter fixed for his birthday, and so that means something. He wears this broken watch, and it's a constant reminder of his relationship with his daughter. Little things like that that I thought were really good. And Pedro Pascal is not the Mandalorian in this. He's not like the super cool action hero. He rises to the occasion, which I think is great. But you can see the story being laid out. Now, I've heard things that happen in The Last of Us 2, the video game, and I'll say this: if the producers of this show are smart, they will not go down that path. If the producers of The Last of Us, Craig Mazin and team, are smart, they'll completely throw that out the window and make a correction. Because I think almost universally, when you bring up The Last of Us, everyone talks about how bad the second game was, how it was such a colossal disappointment based on, killing off a major character. I think they would be stupid to do that. I think that what they can do, and I don't think that anyone will be upset by it. Well, you're not following the video games, the accuracy of the video games. It appears as if it's like set up the world fairly accurately to the game, from what I know about it. Now I want to play the game. But I thoroughly enjoyed it based on the first episode. I'm hearing people saying they don't like it. I don't know why, but I'll get your comments. We'll get to your comments. But I want to know, Alan, what you thought of The Last of Us.
Yeah. I mean, for a zombie show, there wasn't many zombies early on. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. What was presented to me in this first episode was fun to watch, interesting to watch, engaging.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, it's hard to kind of judge where it's going having done that. There have been several comments about, don't we get screeners? We do film, and so we generally don't get television screeners, and this would fall in that television category.
Sometimes. Correction.
Yeah, but HBO's never really given us anything, I would say.
No, HBO,
except for documentaries. They've given us screeners to documentaries, but not to most of their other stuff.
I don't need special treatment. I like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm happy when that happens and we can get a little bit of an early review out or something, but I don't need it. But in any case,
But
I really enjoy what I've seen.
Yeah, I will say, again, never having much contact with the video game. I'm not exactly getting the sense of why this game is so great. In fact, I'm watching it. I'm wondering, what kind of game is this? This is one of those kind of wandering, choose your own adventure type deals. It's like the Telltale games where you encounter people and you have a series of choices. And then, I've played my fair share of zombie games like Dead Rising, where you're just kind of making weapons and killing zombies. So I am curious as to understand why people love this game so much. But I think, I think this show is solid. I think it's going in a good direction. I do like the fact that it's dealing with this idea of a society, a post-zombie society, that, has set up authoritarian rules in order to protect the people. I mean, can you imagine if a government would threaten you for not taking some medicines or something in order to protect the greater society, and threaten you with things like losing your job or losing certain benefits or basically cast you out on social media? I mean, it would be sad if a world like that ever existed in real life. So having said that, I am kind of, we'll see where we go.
Well, I sensed sarcasm in that last thing that you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird.
Oh,
Yeah, it's weird. Craig Mazin, I'm very familiar with Craig Mazin. There was a time where I thought about getting into screenwriting,
mhm.
and he has a podcast with, I forget the other gentleman's name, but it's called Script Notes. And they go week by week, just going in depth into how to write a screenplay, how to write for television, how to write movies. And it's very fascinating. Whether you like the work he's done, like the Hangover movies or the Scary Movie franchise, he knows his stuff. But I do know also that he's fairly liberal / progressive. So he's a good screenwriter, and I'm just curious as to does no one see the irony of this story as it relates to what we've gone through the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I've always loved the zombie movie genre.
John August. I'm sorry. John August was the other guy. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, I've always loved the zombie movie genre. I was a fan of Walking Dead, and I was reading the comic well before the show. So like I say, it didn't end the way I like. I hope that what they do is they use the world of the video game as a way to maybe tell a story that is improved, because it appears as if, at least as it applies to the Last of Us 2 video game, that the direction that the story went there just upset a lot of people, really upset a lot of people. And maybe having they have the opportunity to listen to those notes, so to speak, listen to the audience and make changes to the actual series, a television series, based on that feedback. So
what you're saying is you're not curious about the sexual preference of every character in this movie?
I don't care. And I don't know when we became obsessed with, like, we have to sort of call out all of the, just sort of the attributes of, it's not even an interesting attribute. What's more interesting is Joel, his sense of integrity, like his devotion to his daughter. He's he's I assume the big brother scolding his younger brother Tommy. Did I get the name right, or is it Earl?
It is Tommy. Earl. God. It's Tommy.
I've ruined my entire day now by getting that name wrong. I really, God, it would happen a few times. It happened a few times when I was on Attack of the Show, and I remember it would break. I was so upset. I got to let that go.
No, I sympathize, because I'll review a movie, and then when I see the movie, I go back and going, I have no idea what the characters' names are. And then you're frantically searching through IMDb and notes, trying to figure out what's the name of this person, what's the name of that person. Right. Yeah.
And then somehow Earl popped into my head. Anyways, but no, I'm going to stick with it. I was sort of mildly interested, and now, having seen the first episode, I'm in. Now, will I last the season? We'll see. Is Alan going to talk about Velma? Yes, because the poll results.
If you compare the comments of the poll versus the actual poll, the comments say we shouldn't do it.
But it doesn't matter. We respect the results. The election, it was a fair election. I mean, it was a poll.
Yeah.
But it was a fair poll. There was no, shenanigans, and we have to honor it, Alan. We have to honor it.
I did not like the fact that you allowed ballot harvesting to influence the results. I'm just saying, the comments.
Let's